Today, I'll be showing you guys the KN44. This assault rifle is super underrated and probably one of the most underused and most powerful assault rifles in Season 4 of Call of Duty Mobile. It's definitely, in my personal opinion, top 5 best AR in the current season, and I literally have a gunsmith build that makes it a complete laser inside of Call of Duty Mobile and of Legendary Ranked. Only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you have been watching this video, consider subscribing and you can always change your mind. Alright guys, welcome back to another Call of Duty Mobile video. And today I'm going to be bringing you guys, like I said before, the KN44, some gameplay of the KN44. I also managed to get Legendary very quickly in like 3 days basically, and I managed to get that new Bobby Plays, Fergs, and Hawksness collaboration KN44. It looks actually really nice, and I definitely say that this KN is definitely one of the best skins for a free skin. I mean, especially for a gun such as the KN44. So with Call of Duty Mobile Season 4 releasing and all of the weapon balance changes coming in, and as you guys may know, on my last video, I did make a video on the AS Val. And with that being said, the AS Val is probably the best, assault rifle in the game. So where does the KN44 stand under, the pretenses and sort of like the circumstances we have now? Well, the KN44 is basically, I would consider it top 5 best. I don't know exactly where specifically. I'm going to figure that out, and I will be making a top 5 best AR video, top 5 best SMG videos, top 5 best overall guns, and my top 10 best loadouts for Call of Duty Mobile Season 4. And do not worry guys, that hand cam video including the unboxing is coming really soon. I'm still editing that, trying to figure out things for that video, but in the meantime I am going to try to release Call of Duty Mobile content as quickly as possible and in a much timely fashion now that it's the beginning of the month and it's going to be June 1st. We're going to have the first upload for June 1st today. So speaking of which, in terms of what I'm rocking with in terms of the KN44, well, I can tell you right now, the build that I have, that I've been using in this video, is basically a very heavy-duty assault rifle build, rather than something that's a little bit fast. When it comes to playing with assault rifles, there's definitely going to be certain builds that are going to work for everybody, but the thing is, I use a build that's most common with myself and the playstyle that I have. So keep in mind that every single gun that I do play with, and I do happen to showcase a gunsmith build for it, just keep in mind that the playstyle may not suit you. The build may not suit everyone's playstyle. I know I get a lot of comments saying, yo, Evader, this build's kind of slow. This build has slow ADS speed. Why do you have this attachment over this attachment? Like, try this, try that. And, I love the suggestions, and I love people recommending me their builds and stuff like that, but just keep in mind that even though this build works for me and it may not work for you, try something else. Use my build as a blueprint to figure out which attachments actually do work in your favor and which ones that you actually need to change according to how you play. Because like I said, the KN44, in my opinion, is definitely an assault rifle that's used for OBJ. This is not an aggressive weapon. I would consider this more of a laid-back, power position holding weapon. And as you can see, I'm playing top 10, top wood. I just overlook a lot of places on the map. And as you can see, long range is definitely something that I care for a lot. And as you can see, I really just screwed up my aim for a minute, and like I said, and it's just one of those things where you just have to be really concise, and you just gotta take the game slow, don't push it too much. And sometimes a lot of people who play within the new when rank resets and stuff like that, rank sometimes gets a little bit difficult to play, and I can totally understand that. And it just gets hard to play sometimes, and people get frustrated, especially when they're trying to try out new guns, try out new metas, see what works, see what doesn't. So I definitely recommend to everybody who plays COD Mobile to take a step back and just kind of set up, just figure out 5 loadouts that you truly want to use and master. Because like I said, there's a lot of things in this game that need to be improved from on Call of Duty Mobile side. And like I said, we are the players. We need to be able to give feedback and just voice our opinions on guns like this. But, we're kind of trending to a different topic, but it's keeping consistent with KN44. Is it a viable gun in the meta? Like if you guys are going to ask me, is this a viable gun in the meta? Absolutely. Honestly, this gun is so good in terms of, it's good enough to where you're able to use it, honestly. I mean, for an assault rifle, this gun was basically in hibernation mode up until this point. I mean, it was, to a certain extent, you could use it, but due to the meta right now, up until this point, you couldn't. And I would arguably say that, in this current meta, it's an SMG dominant meta. Do I absolutely love it? I'd say I kind of love it and I kind of hate it, due to the fact that it's like, well, it's nice that we have SMGs back, but it's also sad to see that the SMGs that we are seeing are not necessarily a number of variety of SMGs and a number of varieties of ARs. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but who has really been using DRH? Who has really been using Man of War? Not a whole lot of people. Think about that. The Man of War died 2 seasons ago. The DRH is basically falling off the throne. Basically, this season, the DRH has been unthroned by the AS Val, in my current opinion. And even Path even said it himself on Twitter that if you're not using the AS Val, you're unable to win against close range gunfights. With people who are using QXR, maybe the Bison. So like the Bison, the QXR, and the AS Val are right now the 3 guns currently in rank that are probably the most used and are way overly used. And I think just, QXR getting a buff, I would have honestly loved to see the Bison getting a buff. I know this is probably a controversial statement by me and an opinion, because I just do feel like that the Bison needs like some type of, I think it needs like, I personally think it needs like a fire rate buff and a accuracy buff. I think the range is okay. I just think it needs a fire rate buff and an accuracy buff, not necessarily a damage buff. But yeah, the KN44 definitely can stand on its own, and like and if you are good and you're always holding power positions, you aren't going to get lasered from people using QXR. And a lot of people have trouble controlling recoils with high fire weapons, and the KN44 is just the right amount of accuracy, range, damage, and also ammo capacity. So, and then in terms of mobility, this mobility build is not the best, but in terms of just holding down power positions and rotating effectively, and like I said, playing points, this is the best we're going to be able to do, because the KN44, there isn't really an overall good solid build for it that makes it the best in every category in terms of its like damage range and stuff like that. So I just recommend playing around with it and figuring out something good. And I would not, I don't know, like I said, on certain maps it really depends. So like firing range is a great map, standoff is a great map. I would argue probably shoot house is also a good map. There's just some maps that you're just going to be having a good time with this gun, and a lot of them other maps like raid, I've noticed for myself, I don't really like using the gun on it because a lot of people are just using QXR and AS Val. So in terms of being a strong weapon, it is a strong weapon, and it does deserve a place in this meta, because I think that it has made a very well connection to the other guns, and it's able to stand on its own. So, I mean, in terms of, what I think so far, I mean, in terms of, the play style and stuff like that, like I said, just, play back, hold power positions, rotate with your team, play aggressive if need be. Like I said, with a gun like this, you don't necessarily have to constantly keep pushing as if you're an SMG, because in this meta, the QXR is basically going to punish you if you do play aggressive, because that's what QXR players want you to do. And if you are using a QXR, you have no other option but to play aggressive. And that's the problem when using an assault rifle in this meta, is that you are forced to play passive. You aren't necessarily forced to play aggressive. And I think a lot of players now understand that, okay, well, if I am going to be using an AR, or if I am going to be using DRH, then I need to play a little bit more, and basically a little bit much more passive than I normally would. Because back then, without the QXR getting the buff and the PP Bison, the meta was a lot more stable, and you can kind of contest. And as you can see, like I told you guys before, there's a reason why no one's using DRH anymore. It's not a very popular gun in this meta, because, like I said, the QXR beats it. I mean, the QXR is going to beat it any day of the week. Even the AS Val at this point is a much better AR to use. I would say that the KN44 is definitely a good gun to use overall in the top 5. Would it be my second choice, third choice, fourth choice, fifth choice? Yeah, sure. I mean, for second choice, it's kind of debatable. For the Gunsmith build, we do have the monolithic suppressor, the OWC marksman barrel, the OWC laser tactical, 38 fast reload, and the granulated grip tape. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.